Will you drink to the earth and to the days which have passed upon it? Will you drink to the fullness which was and to friends who have passed on? Will you drink to good company well?
It's a sad day for the court and for the country.
And he's still doing that weird sniffing thing. You'd think one of his advisors would have a word. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems doubtful that smelling children in public is going to convince those swing voters.
My butt's been wet.
My butt's been white.
My butt's been wet.
But it takes on an altogether more serious tone when some of these verbal gaffes appear to be declarations of war.
It sounded like he told U.S. troops they were going to Ukraine. It sounded like he said it was possible the U.S. would use a chemical weapon, and it sounded like you were calling for regime change in Russia, and we know...
None of the three occurred.
None of the three occurred?
None of the three. And you're going to see when you're there, and some of you have been there. For God's sake, this man cannot remain power.
Uncle Joe's cognitive degradation isn't just some hyper-partisan Republican talking point. The Democratic establishment must know. It just doesn't seem like he's gonna make it, and they're already making moves to have him replaced. The New York Times has written 6 hit pieces against Biden in the last month alone. According to an NYT poll, only 26% of Democratic voters say the party should re-nominate him in 2024. Listen, when even the regime loyalists at CNN are laughing at your poll numbers, you know you're in big trouble.
Primary voters want a different nominee. 2/3. If you break it down by age, 94% of Democratic primary voters under the age of 30, 94% say they don't want Biden. That is a stunning number.
Yes.
But as with everything else, Biden just seems confused by the whole thing.
That poll showed that 92% of Democrats, if I ran, would vote for me.
A majority of Democrats say they don't want you to run again in 2024.
Left-wing group Roots Action has just taken out a 6-figure ad buy in an attempt to block Biden's 2024 nomination. 15% of his staff have also fled the sinking ship.
And that loss is far greater than former President Obama and Trump. Biden losing 15% in his first year in office. Trump lost 1% by his point, and Obama 4%.
They're also bizarrely acting in public as if Biden isn't even there.
Shunned. Nobody would talk to him. So Biden wandered off looking vacant as a crowd formed around a former president, Barack Obama, who was obviously deeply grateful for the attention. And then it got worse. It got much more poignant than that. Watch Biden try to horn in on the conversation swirling around Obama. Everyone involved in that conversation, including Kamala Harris, who supposedly works for Biden, ignored Biden completely. Biden desperately tried to get Obama's attention. He puts his hand on Obama's shoulder. He even calls him Barack, like they're friends. But Obama blows him off. He acts like Biden's not even there. Ask yourself if you have ever in your life seen anything sadder than this. Make it stop. It's awful.
There was even speculation that the White House were considering using a Biden hologram to deliver speeches. If anything, Trump supporters should be Biden's biggest advocate, because in a public forum, he'd get crushed. I mean, Biden was already ropey in 2020. They had to keep him in a basement and put him to bed in the afternoon. Can you imagine him in debates 2 years from now? He can barely string a sentence together as it is.
You don't see this? Like, you guys out of your fucking mind? You don't see that this guy can't talk right anymore?
Yeah. Over 50% of this country does not believe he's cognitively fit to be our commander-in-chief.
They'd be better off giving Hunter Biden his crack pipe and putting him up on stage to debate Trump. At this point, he'd probably be more coherent than his father.
That's a shame.
Jump to the story. From TimCast.com, snip for a shake. Nashville hot dog joint giving out free milkshakes with proof of vasectomy.
That's worth
it. Congratulations.
Whoa. Yeah.
I saw this tweet where this dude was like, your children will be going to school with immigrants and weirdo conservatives,
Right.
because liberals are all removing themselves from the gene pool. I'll just break it down very simply for all y'all. More likely to have an abortion, substantially. Substantially less likely to have kids. Substantially more likely to get hysterectomies, vasectomies, to get whatever it's called, the tubes tied.
Yeah.
Man, we're really the party of fun over there.
More likely to sterilize their own children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just gotta say, the liberal left is very unlikely to exist as an ideology or tribal group in 40 years.
I agree. I don't know what everybody's getting so worked up about when they're chanting about like being pro-choice. And it's like they're really just getting rid of it.
Here's the crazy thing.
Not even being a dick. I'm just serious.
Conservatives. The reason why abortion was a guarantee that Roe v. Wade would have been overturned. Anybody in the 90s could have just looked at a simple arithmetic and been like, in 20 years, abortion will be made illegal. Why? Conservatives have kids. Conservatives don't want abortion. Liberals abort their kids. They want abortion to abort their kids. The math is simple. Over a long enough period of time, the voting bloc becomes more conservative and then votes away abortion, bringing back more liberals.
I never thought that would be the main problem with Democrats, is that we aborted all of our voters.
Well, that's why they want to bring in more immigrants. Right. The funny thing is they say that. They're like, we want to bring in more immigrants. We want to strengthen our voting bloc. And then when Tucker Carlson says it, they're like, he's a racist.
Well, of course. That's the magic word. Yeah, of course. Well, even RBG was kind of against Roe versus Wade. I mean, my opinion on it is, different than obviously what my show does. It's sort of do what you do. I don't care. But I just don't think that the way they're going about it right now makes any sense at all.
Very clear. The health and life of women in this nation are now at risk.
Oh, women. Not all women. I mean the old-fashioned ones. The old-fashioned women. Oh, God. The ones with wombs. Oh. No, I love the new women. I know the new women. They're great, aren't they? The new ones we've been seeing lately. The ones with beards and they're as good as gold. I love them. Oh, they want to use our toilets. Why shouldn't they use your toilets? For ladies. They are ladies. Look at their pronouns. What about this person that isn't a lady? Well, his penis. Her penis, you bigot.
It's funny because he's hitting on the same thing that Matt Walsh is hitting on in What is a Woman, that it's all about words. It is a construct entirely made of words, and it can be disassembled by words.